Folks, welcome on in. It is the most magical time of the year. It is the Buffalo Bracket. I am Maniac. We are joined here with Slick and Don as we get into it. Boys, it is the most magical time of the year. The Buffalo Bracket is here.
Let the madness ensue. You see the Hall of Fame there, or the Wall of Fame, I shall say, with these pennants. We've had some fair winners in the past, and it's time to add yet another banner to this prestigious collection, Don.
Yep. Well, we're going to be hanging up Buffalo football tailgates very soon as they won the 2025 one. But yeah, we have an amazing collection here. Again, will chicken wings be brought out of retirement, or are they staying dormant on top? We're gonna see. We're gonna see right here. We were talking about today. The selection committee really has some great matchups, some good stuff in this first round, and it's a time like no other, really.
I just want to comment too, just look at the history through the logo. It's like looking at the NBA logo throughout the year, or one of the franchise logos throughout the years. That 2019 Trainwreck logo has given me some major nostalgia, Maniac.
Yep, someone will be looking to hang up and make some nostalgia this year in the Best of Buffalo bracket. We have 68 entities, individuals, groups, coalitions looking to make moves in the Buffalo bracket as we get into it. Obviously, I want to give a quick shout out, obviously, to Don and the production team behind the scenes. The bracket continues to get better year over year. I know a lot of people get excited about it. I know a lot of people like to argue about the seeding. I know a lot of people like to argue about the matchups. So that's the beauty of it all and what we all look forward to each year. So huge shout out to them. And of course, our partners, Salino Plumbing, HVAC and Electric, William Matar Law Offices, and Batavia Downs, Winmore, lots more. Huge shout out to them. Without further ado, Don, I know the bracket has evolved a little bit in recent years. I know it's just starting to leak out there, and we'll get it pulled up for the Northtown region and start to break it down in a moment here. But what sticks out to you? What do you like most about the bracket when we get into this season?
I just love some of the new faces in this year's. We have a lot of, we're saying entities, people. I think we have a good amount of some rising stars based on local accounts and local influencers. Obviously, you're going to have some of the mainstays, the blue blood, the blue chip programs, as we've seen in the past. But we have a lot of newcomers this year. We might have more than any other year, honestly.
I was going to say, there is definitely some fresh blood this year. You can hear Pooch, my dog Phil, getting after the blood.
He's excited.
He thinks available. That's what I'm saying. He smells blood in the water. So with that said, Don, it has just started to leak onto the internet. I don't know who leaked it onto Trainwreck Sports Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. But the Buffalo Bracket 2026 is here. So with that said, let's get into it with the Northtown region. Coming in at a number one seed for the first time in bracket history, Sabres Twitter. They will play one of our play-in matchups, which we'll get to shortly. 8 and 9 matchup. We have it's all food all the time in this country, in this county. It is Ted's Hot Dogs versus Taste of Buffalo. At the 5-12 matchup, Slick, we have 11-day power play against Rosie's. Have you messed with the Rosie's ice cream?
I have not. I've heard all the rave, though. It's hard for me to make it down east to East Aurora, kind of my opposite direction. I'm a Northtown guy, so I have eyes on this region. Kind of interesting that East Aurora landed a seed in this one. But I've heard good things about Rosie's, and the 12-5 matchup is always good for an upset.
Well, the interesting thing is, like, Rosie's got the second location in the west side of Buffalo. So it's walking distance actually from my house. They opened last summer. I've been there a number of times. Zach, you get out there?
Oh, yeah. Rosie's is rocking. I'm not surprised to see him as a 12 seed. And listen, 11-day power play, a perennial, community favorite, but definitely going to be on the hot seat in this 5-12 matchup. Speaking of a perennial favorite, at number 4, it's Bar Bill Tavern in a bracket where it's been taken down by chicken wings multiple times. One of the best spots, consensus spots, always has a shot versus lack of traffic at a 13 seed. The lack of traffic kind of coming in with a low seeding here, despite being such a strong aspect. Has the traffic situation in Western New York gotten worse?
Well, I think lack of traffic had a very tough year. If we remember that one, that spell when the Peace Bridge was shut down, you had the traffic backed up. You had trucks lining the 190 all the way back to the Black Rock area and to the Porter exit. That was a week, if you remember, where the lack of traffic was not evident. So they've slipped a little bit because they had a very tough year, I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
I have noticed an uptick. I don't think it's enough to warrant the 13 seed Maniac, and that's just an even tougher matchup with Bar-Bill Tavern there, as they've been getting, national headlines.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that said, as we go to the bottom half of the bracket, what a send-off it was. We had Goo Goo Dolls. We had all kinds of classic games. Old Highmark Stadium taking on a great cause that never gets old. Hope Rises. It's like you see anything in that matchup, that's going to be a tough 6-11.
Yeah, it's crazy because Hope Rises. They have the fan following. I like social media comes into play a lot with the Buffalo bracket. We've seen it in the past, but Old Highmark Stadium. I mean, people were talking about bringing tools into the last game if necessary to get their seats out. So I think there's going to be a lot of passion in the voting there. Hope Rises, though. I think they can pull the upset if they get their social media fans behind them.
I think there's no doubt they could rally. And Don, speaking of rally, there's a whole army behind this next crew, 26 shirts and all their good causes taking on new Highmark Stadium. So it's a big year for the Highmark Stadiums. We got one going into the history books and then one looking to make some history with its debut. Do you think that new Highmark Stadium can take down Del Reed?
I mean, they definitely can. This is a matchup, that is really going to divide the community, really hurt some people. I'm not sure 26 Shirts wants this fight. It's the crying while holding the gun emoji or meme right here.
Yes.
This is a matchup that is really is going to, I hope doesn't tear people too far apart. I think 26 Shirts, with the amount they've raised, the amount they do, and the amazing shirts they've made for Old Highmark, and they're probably got some already in the works for new Highmark, is really going to cook. And how is Mighty not on there? Yeah.
We still have 3 regions to come on the show, so don't assume that yet. But yes, not in the North Towns region as we run through them here on Trainwreck Sports. Then
I'll tell you what, real quick, Maniac. We've seen in the past some of these brands concede because they love their opponent so much in the likes of Brother Bill. Now, I don't think that'll happen this early with 26 Shirts, but Del Reed is dedicated to that organization. I think this is going to be tough for him.
Shout out Hunter Wood. Shout out Lady Hoops on Instagram. Tuning in YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Everyone tuning in for the Buffalo Bracket 2026 on this Selection Monday. Shout out to you. Crazy weather here in Buffalo. We got crazy action on the bracket. Sponge Candy making, I believe, their 7th appearance in the Buffalo Bracket. So shout out to Sponge Candy. And they'll take on making her debut by Abigail Lee. I will say something. The selection committee is going to be on the hot seat of this one. If BAL goes home early, they're going to be saying she should never have been in the tournament to begin with. And then if you take her down, there's going to be anger either way. I think there's going to be anger on either side of this coin, Slick.
I'll tell you what, there definitely is going to be anger on either side of this coin because like a different entity in this bracket, there's some controversy behind Sponge Candy and the origin of itself. So I think if Abigail Lee doesn't get the early start here, could be hot, but this could be a fire-fueled matchup between the two.
Yeah, and Abigail Lee, again, debut appearance and in at a 10 seed. Like you said, I mean, the selection committee really putting a lot of faith in her. It's rare that you get someone to debut, this high, but she's been tearing it up, getting some merch into the local grocery store scene. So really, really making a splash this year. We'll have to see how this pans out.
Absolutely. And then rounding out the bracket, no slouch themselves. You know, Wings has taken down a number of the brackets, but it could be this one this year. Beef on Weck at a 2 seed going against, I mean, I've heard about it. I still have not seen a complete full episode of this, but I don't know what's going on. Real Ladies of Cheektowaga. This crew is tearing up the Southtowns, and they're tearing it up in a very interesting way. So cool to see them make the bracket at a 15 seed. But speaking of historically, so obviously we got Sabres Twitter as a 1 seed, I think, which stands out here, a very crazy matchup. And then the fact that you could be, if you get an old Highmark Stadium versus new Highmark Stadium matchup, that means the Hope Rises and 26 Shirts both went home. I mean, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I obviously the charitable ones to try to get a real big push here in the Buffalo bracket. I expect one of them at least to make it out. I'll tell you what, Maniac, Sabres Twitter is still going to find a way to complain about being a 1 seed somehow. They will find a way. But yeah, the Northtown region, a lot of heavy hitters here. And I think Felony Bechet's shoulders probably hurt from carrying the Real Ladies of Cheektowaga into this Northtown region.
Yeah, and I Beef on Weck, we said, is this their year? No slouches. When I was in New Orleans, listen, the guy that picked me up from the airport turned out to be an ex-UB grad, right? So he's a medical student. He went and worked for years and years, and then retired from Tulane Medical Campus. And he said he loved Buffalo. They're famous for the chicken wings, but the real secret, the real thing he couldn't get enough of, is the beef on Weck, he was saying. So he preferred the beef on Weck over the chicken wings. So that's all I'm saying.
Listen, some people have those salty taste buds. We saw it yesterday, Don. So some people need that beef.
Yeah. And hopefully, if beef on Weck steals this thing, I'll be handing out some beef on Wecks on Delaware in Allentown as well. I just
want Sabres Twitter to go on a run. Ted's Hot Dogs, take them down. Barbell Tavern, take them down. Sabres Twitter takes down new Highmark Stadium. That would just be legendary.
New Highmark's an interesting one because we haven't seen the inside. We've obviously heard the reports, seen photos.
Yeah.
But we'll be interesting to see who comes out of the Northtown region there on either side.
I know this is a little felony cliche, but no easy matchups in this Buffalo bracket.
Never is, never will be, I don't think. And people take these matchups seriously. You see the passion of the fan bases get behind their favorites. And I don't think that'll be any different 2026.
Absolutely. So with that said, I think we're ready to get on to some Southtowns action. Are we ready, boys?
Oh, yeah. This is going to bring the freaks. The freaks are coming out.
Seriously. Bring your freak out. And you know where you can do that is at 1 seed Local Breweries. And then we have them facing a play-in. This is a perennial tough, contender. City of Good Neighbors. That's an entity that made, I believe, an Elite 8 run last year versus BB's Bingo. BB's Bingo making their debut, taking the region by storm. It doesn't matter whether it's the casino, it doesn't matter whether it's Riverworks. They got bingo people going nuts. They got striptease dancers. They got everything. They've got anything you could imagine from a bingo game. They've got it in BB's Bingo. Speaking of anything you could imagine, Justition. Who would have imagined this year, even with all their amazing NHL prowess and previous projects, an awesome collab with the Buffalo Sabres, having their merch line featured in the Sabres store. That was very cool. And I heard a rumor from from Dish and Enterprises. Keep a lookout for that and something more at the end of the month. So a lot of momentum in Dishonville. Speaking of which, Locked On, the Locked On network locally. Okay, we got Sneaky Joe on the Sabres side. We got Joe Marino on the Bills side, one of the top networks, keeping all the fans, keeping everybody engaged, taking on, again, the Justition of it all. So a couple matchups there, Slick and Don. What's sticking out to you so far in the Southtown bracket?
I mean, just as in the Northtown bracket, Abigail Lee making her debut at a 10 seed we thought was crazy. BB's Bingo just shooting right up to a 9. Easy to Go Airport, this strikes me. 14? Maniac, you've got to be vouching that this is a bit too low.
Yeah, I think this is definitely too low for Easy to Go Airport. But at the end of the day, I also think some people don't take advantage of it. Some people have maybe soured on it a little bit just because they don't prioritize it. They don't travel as much as maybe they should. So I think if you're flying more than 3 to 5 times a year, you're definitely excited and happy about the Easy to Go Airport Ball. It deserves more than a 14 seed, but time will tell against meaningful Spring Sabres games there.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the upper quadrant of this, local breweries, this is all, I can almost guarantee this is going to be a Final Four right here. They just have too strong of a coalition. I mean, we're talking about all of them, from the Resurgence to the Big Ditch and everywhere in between. So there's so many, and that's not even just in, those two are just in the city of Buffalo. We have ones out in the North Towns, in the South Towns, some really incredible local breweries there. I just have a hard time finding them getting upset. But what's also sticking out to me is what might be the matchup of this whole first round. I mean, Buffalo Origin Story versus Labatt Blue.
Oh.
I mean, we're talking.
Yeah, so let's get on to the bottom half here. So we got cost of living, obviously always a strong perennial contender versus our friend Kim LaRussa at Sweet Buffalo. All that they got going on, Jamie O as well, helping with that organization. We got Origin Story versus Labatt Blue. I mean, there's your Wesley Snipes gun crying emoji for sure, Don. I mean, he definitely doesn't want that matchup. I know that for sure. But
is it that one, or is this like the Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair at WrestleMania?
Absolutely. It is Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. He's about that. Sorry, I love you for sure. As he super kicks him into oblivion. We got meaningful Spring Sabres against the Easy to Go Airport. Like we said, that could be trouble. Tage Thompson making his bracket debut against 9/11 Tavern. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on. You got gold medalist Tage Thompson, leading goal scorer, a guy who's kind of taken us to the promised land, potentially back to the P word for the Buffalo Sabres. And then you have Dion Dawkins, key to the city, left tackle, crushing it as far as stats, PFF, everything. Calling out JetBlue, all himself. And he's getting it done as a number 2 seed versus Seneca One Tower, housing 43 North, housing Odoo, housing a number of, housing M&T Bank, housing a number of Highmark, housing a number of, important companies locally, as well as a coalition of apartments and more to kind of create a community and work to bring back downtown Buffalo. So very exciting. Boys, I know I rattled them off there. We'll keep going. What sticks out to you most here out of the South Towns region? Looks like it's going to be a dogfight.
The Tage Thompson at 7 is a little crazy to me. I could see a sneaky run here. I know 9/11 Tavern has a very faithful patronage. However, it's very tough matchup, especially coming off these Winter Olympics, bringing home gold. And then the meaningful Spring Sabres. I think that could be a final 2 of the region in the South Towns. We haven't seen it in the bracket in quite some time, and a 3 seed, frankly, if we are to get to even more meaningful Spring Sabres, is quite disrespectful. And I think the fact that we're not there yet is just what the committee considered in that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tage Thompson, 9/11. I mean, that's really going to be a spicy one. I also want to talk about, we're in only our second quadrant, and we already now have 3 representations of the Buffalo Sabres spread out here, because we have the Meaningful March Sabres games and Tage along with Sabres Twitter last time. I'm just wondering, are they gonna, is Sabres social media between Insta and Twitter, which we're this year we're doing both. I don't know if we've mentioned that yet, that we're doing voting on both platforms this year.
That's big.
Yeah. Are they going to be spread a little too thin with so many options? That's the only thing I'm thinking about. Or are they going to show up twice as hard because they're so represented here? But we're going to have to wait and see. But again, like I said, I think Buffalo Origin, Labatt Blue, that's got me. That's got it circled for me. I mean, this might be this might go back to down to the last hour where we end up with a 50.2% to a 49.8% split here.
Yeah, when I look at this one, I think there's definitely going to be some down to the wire matchups, like you said, and that's all the more reason to remind people that this does not, that, there are multiple platforms at stake. So if you see one win on Twitter, if you see one win on Instagram, does not mean it's over. It's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's Twitter. It's more Buffalo bracket than we've ever had before, and it's better contenders than we've ever had before. That's the thing that sticks out to me here, guys. I don't want to, call them all out, but I think there's about 5 to 7 out of this region that could represent it, and at least 4 to 6 that could definitely win and take down this whole thing.
There's definitely some big names and contenders here. We're only looking at the first half, so I can't even imagine what the second half has to offer, especially with some of the seeding I've seen thus far.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the bracket, we were talking about it on Trainwreck today, and how it seems a little chalky for us there. This is kind of the opposite. I mean, there's some 10 seeds I could see win the whole thing, some 12 seeds I could see winning the whole thing.
That's disappointed Catherine Button, the Sabres puck to me. Listen, it's about a full body of work. If she got hit one more time, I think she could be all the way up to a 10 seed, but she just missed. She was one of the last 4 out for sure. So shout out Matt Pokigo. Chime in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. See Gino, Billak, Liam Woodruff, and more on Instagram as well. Shout out everybody tuning in there. Let's, without further ado, why don't we go downtown, boys, with this Buffalo bracket and take a look at the downtown region headlined by the #1 seed, Josh Allen's baby. I mean, this is going to be a contender unlike you've ever seen. I don't know who's going to be taking down that fetus. That's all I could say. Play in 3. Good luck to you. We'll obviously check in on that in a little bit. At the 8-9 matchup, we have Larkinville and Riverworks. So 2 destinations. I mean, you talk about all summer, you talk about all year long in Buffalo, 2 destinations making it happen. St. Patrick's Day, we all just got caught up in it yesterday, and it's happening again tomorrow, or this past weekend, and it's happening again tomorrow. So perfect timing for St. Patrick's Day to make an impact in the bracket, coming in at a 5 seed, facing off against Loganberry, a perennial drink. Buffalo loves its custom items. It's items that are native to the area, and that's definitely Loganberry, whether it's Johnny Ryan or some other custom company, but Loganberry is Buffalo. And just like Paulo's Donuts coming at the 4 seed. I mean, who could, geez, that cream on that donut, unbelievable. Coming in at a 4 seed against Buffalo Zoo, going viral all the time. They had the baby lions a couple years ago, and they've done nothing but, entertain and welcome families and all kinds of amazing activities. The wine and walks, I believe, on Wednesday nights on the summers. Never stops there. So I know there's a lot coming in the summer for Buffalo Zoo, and there's a lot they did in the past year. Wouldn't be surprised to see them give Paulo's Donuts a run for their money. With that said, boys, what sticks out to you in the top half of this downtown bracket?
I'll tell you what, Maniac. Josh Allen has been a 1 seed and won this damn thing, and he's one of the greatest. He's an MVP, and that shows here with the fact that this baby is not even out of the womb and has earned itself a 1 seed. When Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld have a baby and it's not even born yet, I think it's very well deserved, this seeding. Shout out to the selection committee on that part. And I think they got the St. Patrick's Day seeding right as well after a lighter showing at the parade yesterday from what we're used to. Obviously, weather in effect there. But top half of this region looking strong so far. But like you said, good luck to play in 3.
Yeah, Josh Allen's baby, again, set to make history as if it does win this whole thing, will be a benchmark I don't think we'll ever in our lifetime be able to be beaten as the youngest to ever win. Because I don't know if you can get any younger than like you said, not out of the womb.
There's a chance that it arrives before the winner of this whole bracket, but a negative age winner would be historic.
I mean, if this baby arrives in the Elite 8, I mean, there's just going to be no stopping it for sure. So,
no, yeah,
this baby, whether it's the hype in this past year or whether it's the hype for the year ahead, let's face it, this baby is on a lot of Buffalo football fans' minds, quite often. So, very much an earned 1 seed there. We'll be very interested to see who comes out of the top half of this downtown bracket. On the bottom half, we got Zubas after an impressive performance last year, taking on a 6 seed against summertime weather. Again, summertime weather with an 11 seed. I think coming out of what was a rather cold and gray winter that lasted a little bit long into February. Well, not long because obviously second winter could still be coming. But as far as the cold temperatures, being about 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight of, sub 15-degree days. That could be an interesting matchup for Zubas in summertime weather. We have Western New York Olympians. We got Haley Scamurro. We got the whole crew doing their thing in Italy. So they're coming in at a 3. I don't know if that counts for Tage. I don't know if Tage gets bundled in. We'll have to check with the committee there, Western New York Olympians. But we know as far as native to the area, those ones definitely do count. Taking on Salen's Hot Dogs, the overall company making its a return to the bracket. I believe they've been in it before. Obviously, Ted's has been a perennial contender. But Salen's coming in, whether it's amazing at the tailgate, whether it's the Buffalo Bison's field, whether it's hot dogs, wherever you go. Salen's obviously a big part of the culture here in Western New York and Buffalo. They come in the Buffalo bracket at 14. Then we have coach time, Lindy Ruff. Lindy Ruff coming in as 7, making his Buffalo bracket debut. He's got the Sabres back in contention for the first time in a decade and a half. Most definitely earned and could be a Jack Adams candidate, Jack Adams potential favorite going down the stretch here. Lindy Ruff, and a favorite of everyone else, meat raffles. It doesn't matter how many tickets, doesn't matter what you're throwing in. People love meat raffles in Western New York, whether it's in the South Towns or the North Towns or downtown. Meat raffles are always happening in Buffalo, New York. And coming in at a 2 seed, he had a good year. Let's face it. He's the coach now of the Buffalo Football Bills, Joe Brady. So Coach Joe taking the 2 spot against Buffalo Street News 716. Primarily on Facebook, 100,000 followers, ground level news work, and more. Pretty good account to follow, Buffalo Street News 716 happening there. So, boys, bottom half of this downtown bracket and the rest, what's sticking out to you? What's making you go,
I smell...
Sorry, go ahead, Don.
I smell a major Cinderella story happening here with Lindy Ruff. I think he's really could make it to the Final Four, if not even win this whole damn thing. I mean, the way he's turned this team around this year, the credit he's gotten, being a favorite for the Jack Adams. And listen, he takes on a number 2 seed next in Joe Brady. That I don't know if he's going to get the backing that Lindy Ruff will have, because while he is the new Bills head coach, the way this happened didn't bring a lot of happiness to a lot of Bills fans. This was very controversial. We heard it on the crash outline that this organization, if they're going to get rid of McDermott, who was beloved, a lot of people knee-jerk reaction, weren't happy about that move. If I could easily see Sabres Twitter storming, Sabres social media fans storming that vote, and I just don't know if Joe Brady is going to get the backing that a number 2 seed you would expect from.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Don. But there is some hard-hitting matchups still in this second half. I've got to give credit to the committee where it's due, because Maniac, like you said, trying to rope Tage into the Western New York Olympians, I think that's just the difference between the 3 and the 7 seating there. One just means a little bit more to the actual city and a little bit of a connection there. I also agree with Don very much, and Lindy Ruff's 7 seed is coming on. It's a warpath of its own through this downtown region. Lindy being back in Buffalo is not the only thing that has the Buffalo Sabres back. And I think they're going to have a great showing in this bracket. That's now 4 entities that are associated with the Sabres, Don, if I'm counting correctly here. So are we lining up to potentially have a Final Four? I don't know if there's one more in the next region, but a Final Four of all Sabres related topics?
It looks like it could be possible. I'm getting nervous here, though, when I look at this, because I'm just thinking about Josh Allen's baby taking on Lindy Ruff, and I'm thinking about Josh Allen's baby taking on Joe Brady. I mean, you want to talk about pulling at the heartstrings of Western New York here. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be a whole nother level of something we've never encountered before.
I mean, that's the closest thing we're going to get to Rick Jeanneret versus Josh Allen like a couple years ago.
We got Justin VF saying, dude, what is this? It is the Buffalo bracket, brought to you by William Matar, Batavia Downs, and, of course, our friends at Salino Plumbing, HVAC, and Electric. What is going to be the number 1 Buffalo entity, the number 1 Western New York entity, the number 1 Erie County entity in 2026? Yeah, but honestly, I think this is either a 1, 2, or 7 for sure coming out of here. With all due respect to, the Olympians, they did their thing. You've even got St. Patrick's Day, decent performance yesterday, but boys, I just can't help but see anybody but Josh Allen's baby, Lindy Ruff, or Joe Brady finding this finals.
Yeah, and those are all contenders for the whole thing. So I think whichever wins the region has a really good chance to move on and hang a banner up in the Buffalo Bracket Wall of Fame. So got to keep an eye on that downtown region, Don.
Yeah. So I'm about ready to see what's going on in the falls, huh?
Time to check it out. So our final region, the Niagara Falls region, coming up as not a surprise as the Banditos back-to-back championship earned them a 1 seed last year. A three-peat earns them the final 1 seed this year, but no easy matchup as a 116. They'll go up against Cup and Char Pepperoni. Local breweries going against the drama that is Shays Theater. Niagara Falls versus Play in 4. Elmwood Village and Wingnuts taking us on and going the distance in the Niagara region. What sticks out to you guys in the top half there of the Niagara region?
I mean, that 116 is tough, like you said, especially with where the Bandits are at right now. Obviously, this surge back is probably going to help them. We know Bandit Land gets behind their guys, so I think there will be some strong voting. I think Wingnuts got screwed in this seeding matchup. That this not only is tough, the 13 seed doesn't help them in the slightest bit. Obviously, the Elmwood Village, a staple of downtown Buffalo, so really tough there for Wingnuts.
Yes, and I think just looking around, Shays Theater obviously going to have a tough time against. I think this might be an error. Just to clarify, because I want to make sure we get this out of the way.
So
It's okay because listen, this is why we were on the fly. City of Good Neighbors in this spot, I believe. Correct, Don?
For Shays Theater.
Versus the local breweries here.
Let me see.
I'm just double checking the primary sheet here. It looks like that. But yes, obviously I expect a lot of noise here. Niagara Falls, surprisingly, listen, it's a 5 seed, and I know it seems like maybe that's overseeded. If you look, it's over 500 in the Buffalo bracket. Niagara Falls tends to win more matchups than they lose, so I would not be surprised if Niagara Falls takes down the play-in matchup there, which will be no slouches either.
Yeah, that 5-12, obviously a popular upset spot, but I think Niagara Falls, especially in the Niagara region, is going to get a good showing. So you're on to some, and obviously some big contenders right away already in this Niagara region top half.
Yeah, Wingnut's definitely a victim of the seeding there for sure.
I mean, I think they got a bone to pick with the committee, and it's not a chicken bone, I'll tell you that much.
All right, well, there's no bones on this guy. Our next seeding up in the Niagara region, coming in at 11 seed, Chad Michael Murray. He's dominating on Netflix. We got Freakier Friday coming back to theaters and more, so you got to give him credit for a great year. He's also back in Western New York primarily, taking on a primary of Western New York, Perry's Ice Cream. Perry's Ice Cream, obviously always dominating with the Sundays and more. You got to give credit where it's Perry's. If it's ice cream, it's Perry's. Lloyd Taco, obviously, dominating with the multiple locations, expanding onto Elmwood and doing so pretty smoothly with a number of entertainment things. They got burrito eating contests. They got entertainment upstairs and more. So shout out to Lloyd, always keeping it flavorful. Against Step Out Buffalo, who features the flavors of Buffalo and more. So Step Out Buffalo, listen, we were talking to some fans, some insiders yesterday. They think Step Out Buffalo can make some noise in this Buffalo bracket. Speaking of making some noise, that's what you can do all summer long and more at Canal Side. So that's not surprised to see Canal Side coming in at a 7. They'll take on our friends Mary Friona and more at the Totally Buffalo store, a place where you can get obviously all your options for Buffalo apparel. You see how prominent the sports teams and more are in the bracket. So not surprising to see Totally Buffalo store make some noise there and make an appearance in the matchups. And then closing out the main bracket, it's First Spring Happy Hour at a 2 seed coming in against Dingus Day. So Dingus Day making some noise as a 15, looking to pull an upset, but it's going to be a tough one against First Spring Happy Hour. It's like not going to be an easy bottom half of that Niagara region.
It's not going to be easy. The seeding's not going to help them, but the fact that the spring and happy hours do happen around the same time that we're going to be jumping into the celebration of Dingus Day. You never know, it might sway in the Polacks' favor. All I know is we were cruising in the parade last year.
Well,
Think I
did
had a
you
bit of a
lose
lag.
Nick?
Think I had a bit of a lag there.
I hope it's not just me because I was moving there for a second. I'm like,
Yeah.
Think a bit of a lag, but all I know is we were going down through the parade last year, raining sideways for 2 hours straight, and there were still thousands of people flooding the streets of Buffalo to celebrate a Polish holiday of Dingus Day. It was a great time.
All right, so we do have breaking news / an update of where this error happened.
okay, it could be me, but stand by.
Okay, so here is the update. Here was what it is.
There
it's
you
not
go.
Chase Theater. It's 8 is great place to raise a family, and the reason for that is if you recall, in the South Towns, local breweries is a #1 seed.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that is great place to raise a family. A perennial that's been in this tournament a lot of times, but just I don't know if they've really ever made it outside of the Sweet 16. So they're there at an 8 seed.
They're the opposite of Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is a couple games above 500. Great Place to Raise a Family has also been in the bracket 7 times, but a couple games under 500. Only has 2 wins in Buffalo bracket history. So Great Place to Raise a Family. Like you said, they always make it. They're like a Georgia. They're like a, one of those blue blood schools for sure. One of those blue blood entities. But struggling to pick up a win in the bracket is definitely a thing for them. So Bandits 3P coming in to make some noise. First Spring Happy Hour can definitely make some noise, but Niagara region can definitely make some stuff happen. Speaking of making some stuff happen, we went ahead and checked in with our friend Sal Capaccio to see what he thought about the Buffalo bracket earlier today.
Folks, we're here downtown Buffalo with the man who makes it happen, Sal Capaccio. Sal, exclusive look at the Buffalo bracket here coming out. Old Highmark Stadium taking on Hope Rises. We got 26 shirts versus new Highmark Stadium. I mean, these two could be on a collision course. Del Reed, not really anything sticking out to you?
Man, I love this. First of all, I might have a bit of a beef with some of the seating. I mean,
What do you
generally
got?
that's what happens here. I mean, Sabres Twitter is #1.
Sabres Twitter,
it is,
huge year. Have you been seeing Chad Domenici?
He is great. He is great. I love that. So
What about Sneaky Joe on the Locked On pod?
Dion Dawkins at #2? I mean, Dion, in football season, I think Dion #2. But what about now?
What about the key to the city? He had a huge year.
No doubt about it.
He
Okay,
also took on JetBlue single-handedly.
I've been doing some stuff. I saw Kate from Hope Rises down in Florida at the Everything Buffalo
Everything
party.
EB party.
Right, so I might
You guys
have
were
to,
living it up.
I think that's a strong contender right there.
We got Zubas against Summertime Weather. What about Joe Brady? Could Joe Brady take home this bracket at #2? Is that a fair seeding?
Let's see. What Buffalo Street? Yeah, I
Joe
think
Brady
so.
could be on a collision course with Lindy Ruff.
Oh, listen. I mean, we know that
What were these brackets?
We know that Joe is in charge of everything going on at One Bills Drive now.
Yeah.
But how can anybody deny Lindy Ruff? Lindy Ruff needs to be the coach of the year, not just the winner of the bracket of the year.
All right, I'm here with the guy of the year, Sal Capaccio. We're making it happen. Buffalo bracket. Thanks, Sal.
You got it.
A lot of kind words.
Wow.
Overseeding. Again, the good thing is that when you get now that we're doing it for the 7th, 8th year, all these things, you start to just, it's the most magical time of the year. Things are underseeded, et cetera, and then they go on runs. They go on these magical journeys. So that's a part of what the Buffalo bracket's about, boys.
Yeah, I mean, that seating was lighting a fire under Sal's skin, and he gets passionate. So if he was feeling that way about certain matchups, it's only telling what's going to happen this year in the Buffalo bracket. Got some more comments here. Maybe a Twitch bot, but that's okay. Everyone's doing
I
the
got
Buffalo bracket reveal.
So I'm looking at our Instagram post itself. I want to check in with some of those podcasts. We have Jack Sayer 14. Locked On Pod pulling the upset. He said,
See, I'm telling you, people are going to be behind the Locked On pod. It's not going to mess around for sure.
And then Lawson VP. I mean, this is wild right here. He says Bandits 3-peat versus Cup and Char will be an upset. He sees a 16 taking down the 3-peat fans. Hey, listen, we love our Bandits, but yeah, I mean that Buffalo style pizza. They make specific restaurants to copy that style in other cities. So really going to be watching for that one.
A very tough 1/16 matchup there for Bandits 3P. Speaking of tough, let's take a look at our first 4 play-ins brought to you by the Power of 4 over by our friends at William Mattar Law Offices. So at the first 4, as we announced last week, but now excited to have them happen over the next couple days, we have our friends at the Water Buffalo Club. We have Therese Fortin Barnes, Fan of the Year, and more over there. Love to party in the Big Tree lot against Lady Lynx of Buffalo. Love to party all over Western New York courses, indoor simulators, and more. A group having fun while they get better at the game of golf. Love those 2 crews. Then we have Borderland Festival taking on the Hallmark movie, A Buffalo Bills Love Story. Again, that's the Hallmark movie. We don't know anything with the Buffalo Bills or no association there. But should be a crazy matchup. That's kind of, we were joking, Slick. That's kind of, East Aurora's main, festival against something that was basically happening all over the South Towns for, a full summer plus.
Yeah, it's East Aurora's claim to fame versus something that was insight into what could be at a bigger scale than that night. So total collision course there. I'll tell you what, Maniac, the WBC in play-in 1 versus the Lady Lynx of Buffalo is like Ronda Rousey versus Gianna Carano that we're about to see coming up, because that is a hard-hitting matchup between 2 great groups of ladies here in Buffalo. Yeah, even the play-ins packing heat early in the Buffalo bracket.
Yeah, and then just a reminder, whoever wins play-in 1 is going to face off against Sabres Twitter. So that'll be Water Buffalo or Lady Lynx. Let's see. Let's look ahead to who else. Borderland versus a Buffalo Bills love story. Again, Hallmark film. That's going to go against local breweries.
Okay.
Jeez.
Play-in 3, Mirror Restaurant, like you said, finally taking over a beloved spot in the Elmwood Village. Panos that had kind of been sitting vacant since the second iteration did. They will be playing against Josh Allen's baby.
Yeah, that's no.
Well,
good.
that's a tough matchup for Mirror Restaurant or Hope Totes for certain.
Yeah,
and then closing it out as play-in 4, we have Store 716 versus Howard Picks the Bills, which is an immortal entry, obviously, in the Western New York culture. Who do they face off? That's a 5-12, isn't it, Don?
Yeah, so I think what actually I'm pretty sure they face off against Niagara Falls, which would be interesting because if you remember, last year was Howard's Niagara Falls tour facing off against Niagara Falls.
This is irony. This is like when Bruce Pearl faced Tennessee as the Auburn coach, for sure. Yeah, Howard needs to win that one. All due respect to Store 716, and then he needs to go back to where it began in Niagara Falls.
Do we all agree that Buffalo bracket alum, and it's for, I think, all times in the bracket, Howard Picks the Bills probably has the best chance out of any entity in the play-in to go the farthest?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
that's where I'm settled.
If he can make it out of the play-in, I think he can get his revenge in his lick against Niagara Falls this year, and then from there out, it's again. I mean, that Niagara is a tough region, but if he can just get past that, he might be able to make it pretty far. Because then after that, he has either Elmwood Village or Wingnuts. So yeah. Well, don't want to get too ahead, but if Howard can muster it up, he might be looking to go deep again, and we've seen him go deep before.
You talk about an army. The Howard Army travels in big old packs, so definitely something to watch there. But that is our complete bracket for the Buffalo bracket 2026, brought to you by our friends at Salino Plumbing, HVAC and Electric, Batavia Downs, where you can win more, lots more, and of course our great friends at William Mattar Law Offices. Hurt in a car, call William Mattar 444-4444. Boys, super excited. I can't express how much I think that this Buffalo bracket is going to be the most Buffalo-iest bracket of them all. I think there's going to be arguing about the seating. I think there's going to be overstatements about what's where, and then the bracket's going to sort out all the madness like it always should have been anyways.
Yeah, I mean, as we went through each matchup, it got better and better. So I'm excited for one of the best years in Buffalo bracket history. It seems like we're going to get a new name, and excited to see how some of these go. You know, you think you know how all the matchups are going to play out, but you can never underestimate who goes the hardest with the power of social media, not just the power of 4. And that's a big key factor in who comes out of this thing victorious. So we shall see.
Yeah, and someone said earlier, how is Mighty not on there? Well, we just found out Mighty Taco, unfortunately, not on the list.
They have been in the past. I guess that the committee was not convinced in their previous showings.
Just they kind of slipped. I think
show how hard it is to make the Buffalo bracket.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, Zach, you saying you went to Mighty. This was about a couple months back or something.
I thought they were back. But maybe they still have some work to do.
Yeah, them. And then I have to give a shout out to it is our guy who has been in some tournaments lately, but and has gone very deep. But Brother Bill, unfortunately, doesn't make the cut this year. Do you think, him playing nice in years past to some of his idols he had to face against had something to do with that?
Is Brother Bill washed?
No.
I'm sorry to report this, but Brother Bill is under investigation by the West Seneca Police Department for shaving points in previous Buffalo brackets, and for that reason, we can't legally have him in any future properties.
Nor can we have the West Seneca Police Department back in the Buffalo bracket.
Yeah, we can't have him we can't have impartial allegiances like that.
Yeah, even though we love their social media accounts, we'll let the investigation.
You got to put your fanhood aside. You got to be unbiased when it comes to the Buffalo bracket. That's exactly.
Let the investigation do the talking.
Seriously, folks, thank you for investigating what could be the best of Buffalo this year in 2026. So make sure you get on and vote. We will have them on Facebook. We'll have them on Instagram. We'll have them on Twitter. The only way to guarantee your party moves on is to make sure you maximize your voting by going on to all platforms and making it happen. The Trainwreck Sports Buffalo Bracket 2026, again, brought to you by Salino Plumbing, HVAC, and Electric, Batavia Downs, and William Matar. Boys, any final words?
Let the madness begin.
Yeah, and I guess I'll just say the madness begins at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We got 2 first fours tomorrow, 2 first fours Wednesday, and just like the madness itself on the court, the round of 64 begins Thursday, bright and early at 8 a.m. Voting will be from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. Every hour. We're going to release the schedule so you know when to rally the troops. And yeah, so because it's going to be all over. It's going to be madness. I'm going to be going mad, tallying up all these votes from everywhere.
I can't wait for some close ones that go to the third voting app. Let's go.
Yeah, bring it all down to the wire.
All right, folks. The only way to make it exciting is to make sure you get out there and vote. So follow along, Buffalo Bracket 2026. A lot of excitement to come. Huge shout out to our panel. Huge shout out to Sal Capaccio for chiming in with us and taking a look and having some fun. And a huge shout out to you for being involved and making all of this so much fun as well. So let's strap in. Let's have a great time, and let's have a good bracket now.